Your bank account is empty because you're a hesitation addict, not because you don't know what to do. You know. You've known for years. Ask for the raise, start the side business, invest the savings, cut the subscriptions you don't use. But knowledge doesn't equal action when your brain is wired to reward inaction. Here's what's happening. Every financial decision comes with emotional risk. Fear of rejection, fear of loss, fear of looking stupid. Your amygdala flags these as threats. And when you hesitate, when you say, not today, maybe tomorrow, your body relaxes. Cortisol drops, anxiety fades, your brain says, good job avoiding danger, and releases dopamine. You just got chemically rewarded for doing nothing. Repeat this pattern enough, and hesitation becomes your default state. You're not carefully considering your options. You're chasing the drug-like relief of postponement. Meanwhile, people with the same knowledge, same opportunities, and less intelligence are building wealth because they act despite the fear. You wait for the fear to disappear. It never does. Let's break down what's actually happening in your brain. When you face a financial decision, your amygdala scans for threat. Will this hurt? Could I lose? What if I'm wrong? Your body doesn't know the difference between ask your boss for more money and fight off a predator. Both trigger the same alarm. The moment that alarm fires, your brain looks for escape routes. Hesitation is the easiest one. You don't have to say no to the opportunity. You just say, not yet. And your nervous system exhales. Threat avoided, safety restored. But here's the addiction part. That relief is biochemical. When you postpone the scary decision, your cortisol levels drop. Your heart rate slows. Your brain interprets this as, we survived by not acting. So it releases dopamine, the same neurotransmitter involved in every addiction. You just got chemical reward for hesitation. Do this repeatedly, your brain prioritizes it.
Neural pathways strengthen. The hesitation response becomes automatic. Eventually, you don't even realize you're doing it. You genuinely believe you're being careful, responsible, thorough, but you're not researching, you're avoiding. But this addiction didn't start in adulthood. Maybe you asked a parent for something and saw their face tighten with stress. Maybe you heard, we'll see, over and over. Maybe you watched adults freeze when bills arrived, delaying opening envelopes like the number would change if they waited long enough. Your young brain was recording all of it as survival data. It learned money decisions equal emotional danger. Hesitation equals safety. Now add in the mistakes you watched happen. A parent who made a financial decision quickly and regretted it. A family member who started a business that failed. Your brain didn't learn sometimes risks don't work out. It learned action leads to disaster. So it built hesitation as a protective mechanism. Every time you approach a financial decision as an adult, you're triggering decades-old programming that says, slow down, wait, don't move until you're absolutely certain. The problem, certainty never comes. So now you're an adult with a hesitation addiction, and modern life gives you the perfect excuse to feed it. Endless information. There's always one more article, one more YouTube video, one more expert opinion that might give you the certainty you're craving. This is where hesitation disguises itself as diligence, but what you're actually doing is postponing discomfort. Neuroscience shows that learning about an action triggers similar reward pathways to actually doing it. Your brain gets a little dopamine hit from watching investment tutorials. It feels like progress, but it's not the same as opening the account. The research becomes a substitute for action, not preparation for it. And here's the trap. The more you learn, the more uncertainty you discover. Each new piece of information creates another decision point, another place to hesitate, another reason to say, I'm not ready yet. You're not trying to learn enough to act, you're trying to learn enough to feel safe. And that threshold doesn't exist. Let's talk about what this addiction is actually costing you. Every day you hesitate on a financial decision, you're not staying neutral, you're losing ground.
The salary you don't negotiate costs you that difference every single paycheck, plus the percentage raises calculated on that lower base. 10 years later, one hesitation at age 28 has cost you 6 figures. The investment account you don't open, that's missing compound growth on those returns. But here's the part nobody talks about: the emotional compound cost. Every time you hesitate, you reinforce the identity of someone who doesn't act. That identity gets stronger, the neural pathway gets thicker, and the next decision becomes even harder because you're not just fighting the current fear, you're fighting the accumulated weight of every previous hesitation.
So how do you break an addiction your brain has spent years perfecting? Through strategic discomfort. You need to rewire the reward system by proving that action, even imperfect action, doesn't lead to disaster. Start with financial decisions that have low stakes but high emotional charge. Not, should I invest my life savings, but should I cancel this subscription I don't use? Your brain will still resist. That's the addiction talking. Override it. Make the decision in 60 seconds. Cancel the subscription. Feel the discomfort. Then notice what happens next. Nothing catastrophic. You survived. Your nervous system just received new data. Quick financial action doesn't equal danger. Next, the money conversation you've been avoiding. Set a timer for 5 minutes. Make the call. Do it scared. Do it imperfectly. The goal isn't a perfect outcome. The goal is breaking the hesitation pattern. Each time you act despite fear, you're weakening the old pathway and building a new one. Here's the key. You don't wait for the dopamine hit of relief from avoiding. You create a new dopamine source, the hit that comes from proving you can act. The final shift happens when you stop identifying as someone who needs certainty before acting and start identifying as someone who acts despite uncertainty. Right now, your brain believes you're the type of person who researches, considers, waits for the right moment. That identity feels safe, but it's keeping you broke. The people building wealth aren't smarter than you. They're not more knowledgeable, they're not less afraid. They just have a different identity. That identity didn't come from confidence, it came from repetition. Every time you hesitate, you vote for the identity of someone who waits. Every time you act despite fear, you vote for the identity of someone who moves. Your brain counts these votes. Do it enough times and the scale tips. The discomfort doesn't disappear, but your relationship to it changes. You stop interpreting fear as a stop sign and start seeing it as information. Instead of seeking relief through hesitation, you seek proof of capability through action. The addiction loses its grip not because you beat it through willpower, but because you replaced the reward. Hesitation used to give you safety. Now action gives you evidence. And evidence builds the one thing hesitation never could: momentum.